Well,
or that was the foxhole one.
That was the foxhole one.
This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. Well, hello everybody. It is May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. You're watching Amateur Radio Roundtable. I'm Tom Medlin, W5KUB. Sorry about the late start tonight. We've got some real technical issues we're trying to work through. We don't know so we thought we could fix it, but it's pretty hard to do during showtime. But we got everybody on. We got Katie and Dave and Glen. We got everybody. The whole gang's here tonight. But you're not going to see them moving around a whole lot. You're going to kind of see some still shots like this, you know. And Katie, give us a still shot. Let's see what you look like. Okay, that's not working. That's not the still shot. That's not the still shot that Katie gave us. But anyway, we're going to try this. We're going to have their audio is going to be okay. We're not getting their picture for some reason tonight, but that will be fixed next week. This is Amateur Radio Roundtable. It's a show about ham radio, and we're also broadcasting this on international shortwave on 5130 kilohertz out of Monticello, Maine. People around the world listening to it. So if you're listening out there, send us an email to tom@w5kub.com. Let us know where you are. And if you do have internet and you want to watch still frozen pictures, you can tune in to the show tonight on the internet. Just go to w5kub.com and click on chat room and video. And would love to have you there. 40-meter net went pretty good tonight. Just would like to invite everybody to join our Facebook group. It's called W5KUB. We've got about 9,500 people in there now. I think we had 300 last week join. So it's all about ham radio. So that'll be a good ham radio group if you're interested. A lot of people in there. You know, a lot of things have gone wrong today. We're getting ready for our balloon launch, hopefully tomorrow or Thursday. I've had the tracker built up, been testing it outside, inside, outside, every day, every night. It's been running all day, it's been running all night. It's been giving whisper reports every 10 minutes. I brought it in the house tonight, hooked it up. It's doing nothing. So until I figure that out, there won't be a launch with it. Now we do have a backup. We do have a backup tracker standing by to launch, and we could launch it if we have to. All right, so let's go around the table here and see who we got out there. Let's start with Katie first. Katie, come on in here and say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Can you see me?
We see you, but you're not moving your lips.
Well, that.
And your mic's hot again, so back up just a little bit.
Okay.
There you go, and we'll get this right. That's pretty good. Hey, so what have you been up to, Katie? You doing better now? You getting?
Getting there, and actually done a couple of club meetings on Zoom. I did last week. I met up with the folks from the ARL South Texas section, and had a visit with them. And then just before the show tonight, Dwayne and I visited with Skyview Amateur Radio Club out in Pennsylvania and had a chat with them and talked about our shack. That was fun. And then this past weekend, we participated in 7QP, and I was really amazed at how well the bands were going. I mean, we had pileups like we haven't heard in quite a while. The band conditions were really nice, and we ended up with about a little over 1,200 contacts. I think we did really well. I think it's our best 7QP yet. So I'm just excited. If the sunspot cycles are getting better, then that means the next QPs will be even better too. But it was fun to get into the QSO parties again. It was just so good to hear so many people on the air. It was a really exciting and fun weekend for sure.
Well, that's great. I don't get involved in anything like that. I'm so busy with everything else. How do you find time? How do you find time to do that?
Well, for this we make the time. It's just a matter of, there's always something going on. It's just a matter of which you pick and choose. But we've operated in the 7QP previously, and even there's a plaque on the wall behind me up there that we earned 1 year. But it's been quite a while since we have, so we thought, well, let's hit it and see what we can do this year. And we do. Dwayne does really good with the big pileups, especially when I'm logging for him. So we found a really good way. We team up, and then sometimes I can pick up bits of a call sign, or he might get bits of it. And so he doesn't have to worry about trying to find it on the keyboard. I can just start typing away and do all the logging while he can just sit and talk, which works out really good. And then Saturday night before it finished, we came back downstairs and found a spot on 40 meters and started calling CQ, and just, boom, an immediate pile up. And it was fun. I talked to my friend Robert, who works down in the Plano HRO. So that was kind of a fun surprise, and because we were operating as WI7QP, and my voice, I think, is still a little sore because there was a lot of talking. I'm not used to it. I know it's hard to believe.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
What are you throwing at me? Oh, thank you. Dwayne's tossing a cough drop at me.
I just can't get used to this.
I know this is weird.
We did see your smile once.
You could just stand here.
All the and stuff. So just keep the big smile on there. Hey, Glen, how you doing, Glen? What are you up to?
There.
What are you up to down there, man, in Mississippi?
Well, laying low, watching everybody else go outside, and figuring if they survive, maybe in a week or two, I'll go outside. I've been working on all the house projects, rebuilding the lab, and like I was saying, I put 1,000 pounds of flooring upstairs, and that's, the biggest project. I'm almost done with that. And I think I mentioned last time that I have signed the contract for the next Arduino book, and that's due to be turned in November. But I'd like to follow back with Katie on the QSO parties. I dearly love the Mississippi QSO party, and I missed it this year. And we normally win the portable category for our state every year. And I love the QSO parties. That to me, I guess you're the DX. Everybody's piling up for you.
Right.
And that to me is fun.
Well, it's not as hardcore as a traditional contest. So if you get somebody in there that's maybe newer on the radio, or you just have, you get someone in your pile up, you can have a quick chat with them, and you don't have people on the other side freaking out because they're sitting there waiting to make that contact with you. But it's just, it's like a casual contest, if you will, but it's a lot of fun. I love QSO parties. They're fun.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Dave.
Yep.
Guess what? I got you guys fixed.
Yay!
What did you do?
Well, I went full screen mode. I went full screen mode. Look at there. There's Katie.
Wow.
Look at there. There we go, man. Dave's moving around. He's still alive, and hey, man, look at that. Okay.
All right.
So I'll have to find out why Zoom freezes up like that when we're not quite in full screen mode.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, anyway, this is our second week to use Zoom, and we didn't have this problem last week. And guess what? Hey, Dave, now my little pictures are on the right side instead of across the top.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the way it worked last. Okay. Well, hey, I'm happy now. All right. Now, so hey, Glenn, yeah, you talking about I guess Mississippi's opened up now down there, or maybe they never closed.
No, we were in a shelter-in-place semi-order. Just about everything was closed other than Walmart, Lowe's, and Home Depot.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I had realizing I was going to be stuck. I was able to order in my flooring, so that was delivered here to the house, and I've been doing the curbside pickup at Lowe's and Home Depot as I've had to. And the biggest thing that I've been doing as far as leaving the house is doing I call it the senior happy hour at Walmart, the 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on Tuesday shopping trip.
So let me tell you, and my son noticed this even down in Texas. I think this week they opened up a lot of stuff, and it's like Christmas time. You go to Walmart or somewhere, and the entire parking lot's full. It's just like Christmas out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like they got a fire sale everywhere.
Man.
And, I try to avoid them as much as I can.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have to do that for some time. I wonder if Mark's in the chat room here. He's usually in here talking. We start thinking about, staying kind of isolated for a while. I'm a little worried about Huntsville coming up. It's August. I mean, let's see, May, June, July. I mean, it's going to be here pretty soon. I just wonder
I've been watching their website and everything, and they're pretty much just saying we're watching it and hanging in there and hoping. They've got me scheduled to do a forum.
Right. And I'm worried that the timing on this, it's going to take several months for this, this sickness to get better around here. And I'm just wondering if there'll be a lot of people just afraid to go, and mingle around.
The cat shows are that way. They're basically saying we're not going to have cat shows until September, October at the absolute earliest, even if then.
What's a cat show?
That's where I take my demon children.
Cat show is a show for cats.
Yes.
Yeah. But hey, I want to say, hey guys.
Your Maine Coon cat.
There you go. Oh, I thought it was an acronym for.
Let me see if I can.
Computer-aided transceiver or something like that.
I'm gonna see if I can't figure it out.
These are demon children. There's nothing computer-aided about them. I have been trying to do the flooring, and let me tell you, being down at their level, one of them will not get out of my face when I'm trying to cut and place and everything. I mean, it's just, then the other one comes up and walks up your back. So you got 20 pounds of cat on your back.
Hey, Glenn, one of the things you're going to have to, we need to start worrying about, and I don't know if you saw it on the news, but cats and dogs are getting the COVID-19 now. Did you know that?
Yeah, they said there's a few cases.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. If you let your cat out, you better go out with it. Make sure it doesn't, mingle around with others, or at least stay 6 feet apart.
No, these two stay inside, so they'd have to get it from me if it happens at all.
Yeah.
And I am not going anywhere. Like I say, I'm going to let everybody else go out, and I'm just going to sit here and stay home as long as they'll let me.
I'm right there with you.
All right. I'm so happy that everything's working.
Yay!
I am so happy, man. All right, hey Dave. So let's jump over and see Dave a minute and see what's going on out there in Ridgeway. Now, where is that? Colorado. Running out of time. I'm running out of time. This meeting will end in 10 minutes.
40-minute time limit.
Oh boy, I don't want to upgrade. I may have to rejoin it in a minute. This didn't happen last week. Last week we went 2.5 hours on the free version.
Maybe they have. Maybe you got your freebie.
And my wife used it with family here a while back, and at 40 minutes, a little pop-up came up and says 40 minutes is up. Click here to extend, and she clicked and it extended.
We got that last week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and we all just hit. I saw all of us. We were all hitting the button at the same time.
All right. So look, if we get knocked off, if the meeting ends,
I'm going upstairs and watching TV and eating peanut butter.
Yeah.
I'm out of
you know,
bread.
if
I
it
can't
ends,
do
it's just
peanut
going to
butter.
end. And Katie, if you want to go get peanut butter, you can. Dave and Glenn, if you want to call back, we'll try to call back in again. Because I want to talk about a few things with Glenn there about Arduino and a few things like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, I'll just give you a brief report from
yeah.
Colorado. I went to the dentist yesterday for what I thought would be relatively routine work to repair a crown. Turned out to be an extraction.
Oh boy.
Oh,
So I came home, took 2 of the Vicodin, and slept for hours and hours. And so I thought, well, today I'm all better. I'm all better. So I went down and had a flying lesson up in Delta, and then came home and went to bed for about 5 hours. So
oh my goodness.
I did not do a video yesterday. I did not do one today. I'm feeling terrible because I told everybody I'd be doing one today.
So Dave, did you actually go flying? Did you go up in the air with an airplane
Yeah.
after taking the Vicodin?
It's sort of like the cats fly,
Yeah.
go up in the air.
Oh man.
Not an acronym. I'm trying to get my sport pilot license, and today was the first day. Colorado has kind of opened up a little bit for this sort of thing. We've had very few cases on the western slope, and Colorado is on the downward side anyway.
So hey Dave, what does sports license mean? I'm not familiar with the term.
There's private pilot license, which I think everybody's heard of.
Yeah.
And that takes what's called a Class 3 medical.
Uh-huh.
And the FAA and my doctors think differently from each other. So I would not qualify for that. But there's
Okay.
another class of license called Sport Pilot, which is designed for daytime only, VFR only. In other words, good weather conditions.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. And the only medical you need is if you've got a valid driver's license, that's good enough.
Well, that's something. Yeah.
That's the one I'm going for. I've got a valid driver's license, and that's been good enough for the state of Colorado. They let me drive, so
Yeah.
the FAA will let me fly under these restricted conditions.
Well, you know, Dave, we need to build you up a repeater to put in that airplane, and you
Yeah,
can you just
absolutely.
take it up there and fly around for a few hours, and we'll all have fun on the ground.
Sure, I'll follow your balloon.
Yeah.
I was going to say, have him open the door and put your balloon out.
Yeah. We could do that too.
It doesn't mind launching at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Way!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be my luck that 34-foot antenna would wrap around your ailerons or whatever those things are on the back, you know, on the
Ailerons.
tail. And,
Oh,
Avalon is a city.
yeah. You know. Well, I hope you do good there with your license and have a lot of fun with that. Yeah.
We just got back to flying again. One of my viewers and patrons is giving me free ground school. He says, as payback for what I've done for the amateur radio community, he's giving me free ground school. He's an instructor.
that's neat.
We're doing that a few times a week over Skype. We tried Zoom, but gave up on that. Went back to
Oh,
Skype.
did you?
Yeah. And Frankie Avalon is a singer, Bill. I see that there. So anyway, I've got to get back to making videos for ham radio. But if I'm feeling tomorrow like I'm feeling today, I may be taking another day off. We'll see. I tell you, I don't know why it is. A little tiny thing on the side of your mouth can throw you for such a loop.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm at the stage that if I have any tooth issues, it's going to be a pull it and, I'm past the point of them wanting to do crowns. Now it's implants.
Yeah, they want so much money for those implants.
No
I
kidding.
could either have all the implants I need or I could buy an airplane. Now, which
Yeah.
do you wanna do?
Or get with Joe and print them out on the 3D printer.
Hey, there you go.
Right, my dentist used to do that at the dentist shop. You know, now and before and now they'll make a temporary crown, and they'll send off and have the crown made, and they'll send it back, and you go in and put it on. But for a while, he was making his own crowns with a 3D printer.
Yeah, there are several different processes for doing that. My dentist was resisting it till they came up with a process that involved some heat treatment that made them hard enough for his taste.
Yeah.
And so I have that crown.
Yeah.
It came off. There was a bunch of cavities and stuff underneath it. I still got the crown. I don't have the tooth to put it on anymore. But
well,
everybody needs a
do
spare
you,
crown.
Dave? Around in the South here, we have certain things we use to work with. Are you familiar with J.B. Weld? Do you know what J.B. Weld is?
I'm not sure I do.
Yeah. Well, J.B. Weld is just a real good all around. It comes in 2 tubes, and you mix it. It's kind of like an epoxy, but it turns into something. It turns into about as hard as steel.
We call that the gray horror. It sticks to everything.
And you can actually drill it out and tap it. So what I'm thinking, if you just fill that space in there, that gap now with some J.B. Weld, kind of shape it up, you'd be okay, man. It'll stick to the teeth and everything.
If we're going to do this kind of thing, we got to fit duct tape in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, what you can do is 3D print you a mold and then line it with duct tape so you can get it to peel out, and then fill the mold with your JB Weld and make your tooth that way.
There you go.
All right. We got to get back on a ham radio. I have used JB Weld a lot of times in radio projects. A lot of
that's
things.
my go-to gunk, man.
Yeah, a lot of things. Hey, you know,
that I don't know, KG6MN, just out of the clear blue sky, sent me a couple knobs for my Micro VITX, the original version.
Uh-huh.
That I put
neat.
together, because that didn't come with knobs, so he sent me a couple of knobs.
Let's see them.
Fit the little shaft, and so there. Now we're back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very nice of him.
Well, that just looks like a standard knob there. You saw my knob box I had last week, didn't you?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? You don't remember my knob box?
Yeah, I saw your box full of knobs.
Let me show. Yeah. So Dave,
Show's gone downhill fast.
He printed Dave.
I'm
He
doing
printed
my
that.
best to bite my tongue right now.
Yeah, he printed that. I bet you it took an hour to print that. Knob, but look at this, Dave. Look at this.
Well, you've got knobs.
Those are knobs. See, you know, got them with lines on them. We got all kinds. Got them with
He keeps them all in a box.
Got them with pointers on them. This looks kind of like the one he made you right here.
Yeah, we did this before. We went all over that cigar box because most people don't even know what a cigar box is.
Yeah, some people don't know what a cigar box is. So
They are great for storing all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video recently of 2 17-year-olds who had been challenged to dial a number on a dial telephone. And they had no clue.
No, then what you need to do is get them to dial one of the original style phone numbers with the letters as the first
letters and the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
letters and numbers. You know, Murray 85 whatever.
Yeah, that was before my time.
But
yeah, I've got a typewriter too, and I've had youth.
Uh oh. Remove the 40 minutes. Well, let's just see what we're going to do here, guys. I'm going to cancel. I'm probably going to go ahead and upgrade. I'm going to try to join a meeting here. I'm going to try to rejoin this meeting. Really had some issues tonight. We'll work those out. Well, let's see. We got Glen calling back in. We'll have Glen on here. Okay, there's Glen. And there's Dave. Glen and Dave.
Boy, that was not very friendly at all.
That was not friendly, you know. They could have gave me a little bit nicer warning, you know.
Yeah, no, that was just, get out of here, go home.
Well, I see Dave here. I don't see Katie yet, so. All right, well, look, hey, I want to talk a minute. Well, we got you on here, Glen, Popiel.
You need to go back to full screen. Looks like the video's chopping up again.
Oh, yeah. I got to go back to something. And if I click that button right there, and there we go.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Well, new system. You just have to figure out how it works, and
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah. Hey. I want to talk a minute about some of the Arduino projects that you're working at. You're going to be doing a new book on Arduino for the ARL. Is that right?
That's correct.
And have you already got a bunch of projects already lined up?
Yeah, but I'm still open for new ideas.
Open for ideas. Okay.
Yeah, hang on a second. Hang
Yeah.
on.
Maybe he's going to go get an idea or something. Show us. I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe.
Yeah, I upgraded my little QRP Labs clock to a 4-line clock, and I understand that you can use an Arduino to reprogram the chip on it, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
So I can ask Glen here how to do that.
Okay, I'm back.
Said Bill. Listen, we got a newcomer in here. Bill Brown. You there?
Yay!
There's Katie. Hey, we're going to have a big group in here in a minute. We're just going to have a smorgasbord tonight. Bill, are you there? Bill?
Got to turn on his audio and his video.
Yeah, I'm not hearing Bill.
Seeing the
There he is.
There he is. I'm seeing him in
Where
the
is he?
feeds.
I don't know. I still don't see him. Well, what a confusing night.
you have to scroll down your little threesome there.
Scroll down.
Yeah, see the little arrow at the bottom?
I don't have an arrow at the bottom.
Yeah, you do right there. Oh, you let it go.
Where?
But you're at the bottom
Right,
for
right
this.
on
stacked people.
Scroll down on that threesome there.
Yeah. Oh, I see right there.
There, right there.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yay!
There's Bill.
Oh, that is so cool, man. Okay. Hey, everybody out there watching the show tonight is a learning show, okay? We're learning tonight, and we're going to have some fun. Hey, Bill, thanks, man. Hey, Bill, man, I brought my tracker in a while ago, and the thing's not doing anything now. It's been transmitting every 10 minutes for the last 14 days, and now it's stopped the night before the launch.
Well, I have no idea.
Well,
I'll have to do a little troubleshooting.
Well, it might be good too, because I agree with you. I think Thursday is a better launch day. The winds here are supposed to be like 0 to 1 mile an hour Thursday.
It's supposed to be pretty windy tomorrow. It's sunny. Let me turn a little light on here. It should be sunny, but it's going to be windy. By the way, I've had some great ham radio meetups on Zoom lately, and we have an amateur television group that meets at the Dayton Amateur Radio Association. I believe it's Wednesday evenings, and they have the people in the DARA ATV repeater group, and we get check-ins from all over Ohio, and we had people in Oregon and Pennsylvania, so Delaware, so it was about 20 or 30 of us in there. And
well, that's cool.
Every morning from 6:30 in the morning till Eastern Central Time, 7:30 in the morning Eastern, there's a big group working FastCan amateur television. Most of us are on digital ATV now, and but we can get some tremendous band openings, particularly during the spring and summer. We get a good temperature inversion. I can actually work fast scan television live video for all the way from Alabama into Ohio and Indiana and 400 or 500 miles. So
That's good.
we have every morning they're on there, and they use Zoom to meet up and get everything arranged. Who's going to try and work who on ATV? So, anyways, that's a real neat group to get involved with. And but Wednesday evenings they have this the DARA group meets, and I can try and find the Zoom link for those who'd like to check into that.
Okay, well, and I am a paid up member of DARA, so maybe I should join this.
But I've been having a lot of fun with that and using Zoom for a lot of things. And it's a great way, and it's actually, the paid version is not that expensive. You can have up to a couple 250 people, I believe, log in if you're doing an actual Hamfest or some conference.
Uh-huh.
We're actually talking about doing a conference during the summer. We haven't made a decision on it, but it's a ballooning conference. So one option is if the live event doesn't happen in the middle of July, is to do a virtual conference. We usually have a one-day conference on Friday. It's called the Great Plains Super Launch, and we have ham radio groups from around the country, sometimes the world, and a lot of students groups show up. And we have a conference about amateur radio, high altitude ballooning techniques and payloads, and how to build your own trackers, and launch techniques, and how do you track these things down, and sometimes the basic what kind of direction finding equipment. Sometimes the tracker doesn't give you a position, but there's a carrier, so you can use DF equipment. And so we've had discussions about how to build that kind of stuff and how to use it. And then the following day we launch 10 balloons all at once, and then we go track them down. So that's coming up in the middle of July in Omaha, Nebraska, and I will let you know if they make the decision to actually hold it, or whether we're going to do an online version, possibly with the Zoom. And if we do go online, on Saturday, each group is going to launch a balloon instead of as a team effort where we all gather in a field. Each of us, respectively, from our homes or hometowns, will launch one online. So that kind of would be a lot of fun. So we'll get you involved in that one, Tom.
Okay, well, that sounds like a lot of fun there. And we can get Dave and Katie and Glen.
That's the middle of July. It's superlaunch.org, and I can bring up the website and tell you the exact dates.
Where's that normally they have that?
What's that, Tom?
Where do they normally have that? Don't you go to that every year?
Yes, we've been holding quite a few, for the last almost 20 years. It's held somewhere in the Great Plains states.
Yeah.
Sometimes in Colorado, oftentimes in Kansas, both Topeka area and Hutchinson. It's been in Hutchinson, Kansas several times, which is the home to the Cosmodrome, which is a fabulous space museum. And Omaha and Iowa. We were in Iowa last year, Pella, Iowa, which is a really fabulous little town in just southeast in Des Moines, and we had quite a turnout to that one. Next year, it's supposed to be in Indiana, and the year after that, I'm bringing it to Huntsville, Alabama.
Well, that's good. Are they going to do it kind of in conjunction with the Huntsville Hamfest, or?
No, we'll probably be in July.
Okay, so just keep it in July. Okay.
Well, June or July. It's usually either June or July, but lately we've been holding it in the middle of July. It seems to work out the best.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Dave had a question a minute ago for our world-renowned Arduino guy, Glen Popiel. Glen, are you there? Ready for a question?
Yeah, fire away.
All right,
Fire
Dave.
away.
Dave, go ahead, Dave.
I can't get it quite over far enough here. I've got a. Let me get rid of that cheesy background.
Yeah, Dave's having technical issues, isn't he?
Oh, if I just. No.
Well, while he's doing that, you had asked earlier about the next Arduino book.
Yeah.
Y'all ever want to know how a book starts?
Mine.
This is all of the notes, chapters, and this is actually the book organized.
I tell you what, if you sold a
That's how
book,
it starts.
if you sold a book that thick, you'd have to get about $400 for it.
Yeah, no, believe it or not, that's how it starts, and all of the chapters are already in folders, so it's literally grab a chapter and work. All I've got really left to do is build some of the projects, and like I say, the lab, and I can show now that we have live video. The lab right now is kind of a shambles.
Yeah.
While we are doing this downtime, and I'm remodeling, rebuilding, doing every house project I've wanted to do for the last 20 years. And then I'm going to be going all out to work on the book. It's due to be delivered the 1st of November. So hopefully it'll make it out in time for Dayton next year.
All right. All right. Hey, Dave, go ahead and ask your question. You want to know how to use Arduino to program something.
I do. And here is the question. Get rid of that cheesy background. This right here is my station clock from QRP Labs. And it doesn't show up very well there, does it? I just changed it from a 2-line display to a 4-line display. It's got a GPS connection and so on. And the reason that I wanted to do that was with the 4-line was I could have not only UTC but also local time, because I'm forever trying to remember what date it is. Well, as it turns out, there's a bug in the software in this particular version of memory. And I've got the updated firmware, but no way to load it. One thing that I do have is this classic Arduino, and this is the same chip right here. Is there a way to use this to program the chip that is on there by putting that chip in here somehow?
Well, when you're pointing to the QRP Labs board, doesn't it have a USB port with a Arduino chip on it?
Does not have the port for reprogramming, no.
Does it have 4 or 5 little pins? Forget the name of that interface.
Well, it's got,
Let's see.
this is the smaller part here is the QRP Labs, and you can see the bigger
The display,
4-line.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the actual processor,
The actual,
is that just an 18 mega 328? That looks big to be a 328.
Yeah, it did look big.
um,
So, Dave, are you saying that's the same size processor as what's on that Arduino
I'm
board
gonna
you
bet
got?
that's a PIC.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too.
Well, it is the same size.
yeah.
You'd need to know what the chip number is. You might have to gently lift that little label and see if you can see what the chip number is. Because if it's a PIC, you're out of luck. You'll have to reburn it or get a PIC programmer.
I see one MCU.
Hopefully it's a AT Mega 328.
It says the AT Mega 328 AVR microcontroller is pre-programmed with firmware to control the LCD buttons and GPS interface.
And you have the firmware?
I have the firmware.
You should be able to pop that chip out and plug it onto your Arduino board and program it that way, because it's a ATmega 328. It should be a standard chip.
Okay, and the next question is, how do I do that?
Uh,
Are there some instructions somewhere you can point me to, or
to reprogram it?
the process, the actual process for hooking this to the computer? Well, it's a USB, but there's software involved.
Yeah, you download the Arduino IDE from arduino.cc.
Uh-huh.
And install that on your PC, and then when you run it and hook up the USB port, it sees it and talks to it.
Okay.
And then you can load the firmware onto it.
Okay. Well, I shall.
So I guess the firmware has all the extra folders and all that junk in here, and it's all
there
together,
shouldn't be
right?
any folders. There probably is a library for the LCD,
library.
but if he's using the 4-line LCD, that's going to be a standard built-in library.
Well, yeah, the clock itself is designed to handle a 4-line display without changes. And the programming software in it does for 4 lines. I've downloaded the firmware. It's just a hex file.
Oh, okay. You're going to need more than the hex file. You're going to need the original source code.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The hex file can only be used to duplicate what you've got, not make modifications. You have to have the original, basically it's C++ source code to be able to compile and make changes.
Oh dear. Okay.
Well, I tell you, Dave, and I played around a little with Arduino with Glen there a year or so ago, and I built several projects. But like he mentioned, if you just download that, well, it sounds like it's not going to work with what you've got there, so I wouldn't download the IDE. But hey, let me ask Glen. You know, on the Arduino, the IDE, that you got all these libraries, and you got your sketch, and you know, you got your upload button. You know, normally you use the upload button to upload your sketch, I guess, into your processor.
Right.
But on this little tracker that I've been building, we had to go under sketch and go down to upload using program. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Upload using program.
Yeah, if you just click on it, if you
upload using programmer, Tom.
yeah.
The ASP programmer.
Right.
You aren't using the serial line to program your
Okay.
process.
And Bill, yeah, and that's the way Bill does his. I'm crashing out here. Katie, your note's being seen by everybody. Let's see. Okay, see you, Katie. Goodbye, Katie. Good night. Good night,
I will
Katie.
say what I use is the little. I have an Olamex STK 500 V2. It's similar to what you have as that USB ASP programmer, but that way you can actually program the chip through a header rather than through a serial port. It goes faster and gives you more options. But in fact, all of my balloon boards and the ones you're working on, they use an external programmer, and you can set an option in the Arduino development environment to use the programmer instead of the serial port to program.
I got you. So this is the programmer. So that's why we're having to click on use programmer to upload.
And how much did that cost you for that programmer?
This programmer is about $1.98. I mean,
That's pretty good.
There's hundreds of them on eBay, and you know
you can't build one for that.
No, and you know, Bill, I had a little plug on the end of it. It plugged into that tracker, but it was so small and it kept breaking on me. I started doing what you're doing now. I just solder the 6 wires. I just solder the 6 wires on the board now.
Now I'll tell you a neat thing I found. It's called T-Tech, and it's a pogo plug. So all I have on my PC board are 6 pads and 3 alignment holes, and it's about the size of like an 0805 resistor chip. I don't have any headers on it, and the pogo plug pushes onto it from the end of this adapter cable. It goes from a IDE, 6-pin IDE on my programmer to a little Popiel plug thing that I just push onto the board temporarily. And there's a little adapter you can push underneath to latch it to the board if you're doing a lot of serious programming.
So,
and that way you don't have the weight of a header or the cost of a header, and it takes up very little room. I'll try and get the link. It's T-Tech, I believe.
okay.
And it's a really cool ribbon cable with a Pogo plug on the end.
So, I always had a hard trouble with Glen as far as trying to program these little Arduino projects, because I had the biggest problem with the libraries and different files and folders. They were never in the right place, and I could never figure that out, and I still don't know today. But I know using this programmer, I know how to use that programmer now. I mean, everything's kind of in one big folder, and I just click on the file, and it works, man. You know? So, but you know, one of the things I learned, and you said you do it too, and I never heard of this before. I'm not a programmer or developer. Let me ask Glen in his Arduino. Glen, do you use AVR Dude for anything?
No, that's an integrated part of the IDE, so it runs the AVR Dude stuff for me.
Okay, so when we program this, we do
That's to set
4.
the fuses in the Atmel processor, Tom, mostly.
Yeah, it sets the fuse bits. I never heard of that before. You know, I've been working in electronics, 60 years.
When you think fuse bits, think the old double EEPROMs that were UV erasable.
Yeah.
This is the new flash version that's basically, it's burning a 1 or a 0 into it with what they call the fuse bits.
Well, and that's what it was. So I learned how to do AVR Dude from a command line, and we do that 4 commands, and then we do load the firmware on here. And I don't know how you get all that stuff in that little bitty AT mega chip there, but it sure works good. It's amazing.
You've got what, shoot, I forget the 20K
Yeah.
flash, thereabouts. So, I mean, it's back to the old days with the old microprocessors and shoehorn everything in. But, there's a million different ways to program the Arduino, because the AT328, the AT Mega 328 is just a chip.
Yeah.
It's got flash memory and it executes from there. How you get it there, you can use the IDE, you can use, the hex file and AVR Dude. It's, either or. The IDE is the easiest. And as far as libraries, the number one thing that I have found with the Arduino, with people that don't really, are new to it, is basically the way to look at it. You overthink the problem. You're like, the library, it just goes in this folder. It's magic. Trust it. If you put the library in the libraries folder in the right library structure, which is each library has its own folder,
Yeah.
the IDE will magically find it and figure it out. It's not compile and link and drag it in and hook it all together. It's magic. The IDE knows it's there. It finds it. It uses it.
Well, this is a great little chip, the 328P or whatever. It's the top one right there on the top, not the white one, but the top one. I just soldered that on today, 38 pins. And, hey, Bill, I didn't solder all 38 pins on this one. I noticed in the schematic we're only using about 14 pins, man. Do I need to solder all of them?
On the Atmel processor?
On the AT Mega, yeah.
You don't have to, but it's always good practice to do so.
Well, I'll put a little, I'll tack the corners down or something like that. But
by the way, that programming Pogo plug is actually made by tag-connect.com. Tag-connect.
And I don't know how I'm able to do it, but
and I think SparkFun has a Pogo plug to IDE adapter as well. I just found one on their website.
Yeah.
And I was at one point one of the top 500 customers of SparkFun.
I'm gonna,
So, and I solder all the pins because you might get confused and not know which one. You might have one that's not soldered, but actually was supposed to go to something.
Well, I tell you, the one that it's actually easier than I thought. It's this little chip that goes right.
Well, that's the
right
SI 5331, which is
that thing's got 10 pins on it right there, and it's a whole lot smaller than the 328.
That's an MSOP. It's a really tiny chip form. It's
you can't really see it there.
That's Silicon Labs synthesizer, which most people are using for their miniature transmitter designs.
Yeah.
It puts out about 10 to 12 milliwatts on the HF bands, and it'll go up into the VHF bands too. And there's a library, as Dave was discussing, there's a library that is for the SI 5351, so you don't have to worry about all the fiddly bits about setting up all the registers, because the library does that for you by just issuing a command, but you have to include that in your sketch.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna have to stick with what little bit I know right now on this. So it looks like probably tomorrow launch is out. I don't like my my tracker not working tonight, so.
Yeah, that. You need to troubleshoot that and see what it is, because if that has happened to you in flight, you'd be in trouble.
It may have been. It may have been. No, this couldn't have anything to do to it. This little board here uses 3 volts. Anything above that, the AT Megan stuff is supposed to, blow up. I accidentally put 4.8 to 5 volts on it for about 5 minutes a few days ago. But it didn't damage it, as far as I know. Everything still worked. I could load the firmware. It's been transmitting every 10 minutes for all week. I would have thought for sure that 5 volts would have, destroyed
it.
The
328P is rated at 5 volts.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was safe then.
Yes.
What about
for it? But the other chips are about 3.6 max.
Yeah.
On some of the other chips on that board.
Yeah, but I didn't lose any of them, so I felt like I was lucky.
But, like I say, the original 328 is a 5 volt chip, but it'll handle the 3.3 volts.
Yeah.
It's made for 5.
So, Bill,
I put 9 volts on a 5.5 super volt max super cap. Ask me what happened with that.
Yeah, I can imagine what happened to it. I can imagine. In fact, that brings me to what I wanted to talk about next.
Sounds like a firecracker.
Hey, I blew up a lithium battery here in the shack this past year. I mean, I knew better. I knew lithium requires special charging, but I thought I knew it all. I have a lab supply. I had a little small LiPo battery. I put it down on very low voltage, very low current, and I thought, I'll run it just here for a couple minutes. It'd be okay. And I walked out of the room, and the next thing I know, I heard an explosion. So I came back in here, and it had exploded just like your super cap, and there was little hot pieces of metal everywhere. Smoke, it was toxic. I tried to get in here to open the window, and with one breath, I could not open the window. So I left again. I got another breath of air. I came back in. I got the window up. Or maybe I got the blinds up. Then I left and got another fresh air. And then I came back in. I got the window up. So I finally, I brought a box fan in, put it in the window, and closed the door here and got all that toxic out. But that little battery was pretty bad. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube where people are taking
we did that
with
a radio controlled plane that we crashed that was all electric.
Yeah.
And the 2200 is a 2.2 amp pack at 11 volts, and it was glowing cherry red when we pulled it out of the wreckage.
Oh man!
And then started smoking, so we threw it in the trash can at the RC Club's site, and there was a few papers and stuff in the trash can.
Yeah.
And it set that whole trash can on fire.
Well, I'll tell you, there are videos. There are videos.
This guy took a Disneyland ride car, and he decided to make a all electric. You're running out of time.
Oh man, I don't believe it.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, just let me just mention to you what I'm going to do, and that brings me into lithium batteries. But what I was going to say is, go to YouTube, look at the videos of people hitting these lithium-ion batteries with a hammer, and watch what they do. Watch what they do.
This guy took a Disney car, and he decided to make a Tesla car out of it.
Yeah.
By putting 800 18650 batteries, which are pretty heavy duty.
Yep.
They're about the size of a C to D cell.
Yep.
And then he decided to charge it with a car battery charger.
Uh-oh. Bad news.
And all of a sudden, they started exploding one by one in his shop. And he had to get 3 people to push it out in the driveway, and the whole thing caught on fire, shooting bombs everywhere, little mini lithium bombs, which melted the asphalt underneath of it. Right as the owner of the shop walked by, and they had to have the fire department come, and it took them 30 minutes to put the fire out.
Well, it's dangerous, and guess what? I'm working on, not this launch, but I'm already working on the next one, Bill. I know other people have tried this and done it. I know you've done it, but I'm going to try to. I'm building up a little circuit to put a little lipo battery on the balloon. I found what is it?
All you have to do is a 4.2 volt regulator, and your current limit is limited by the solar panel, and it'll charge up in a few hours.
Well, I've been studying that, but also I saw a little board, 80 fruit, whatever, you know what I'm talking about?
Adafruit, yeah.
Yeah, Adafruit. They sell a little board about this size, a little less than an inch square. And it has a built-in LiPo charger on it to, do the 0.2C or whatever. It does so much current charge, and then it switches over to voltage. It does it properly.
You can buy them for about $1.50.
Yeah, it's about $1, and it also has a 3.3 volt regulator on that little same board.
Right.
So I'm thinking about teaming that up with a little 6 gram 300 milliamp LiPo battery, and hopefully I can get it'll charge, and then I've got my 3.3 volts on there that I can run the tracker on. I'm going to try it and see what happens. I can play with it outside a lot, the first month, and see what kind of times I can get. I hear some people get 4 hours. Hey, I'm
4 to 6 hours.
I'm going for all night.
No, it's going to be hard to get it to work all night, but
I'm going for all night.
Some serious power management.
A 2200 milliamp battery, it'll get you all night. I guarantee you.
Yeah, but that'd be a heavy battery.
Yeah, it will be. No, I'm looking at, this little tracker draws about 50 milliamps. 50 milliamps.
Now, what you could do is put a primary cell on it for a few days.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going long term. So 50
they
milliamps.
Handle colder temperatures, the primary cell lithiums will handle down to -40 without too much degradation. The LiPo batteries really don't like it much below 0. They start, and they really crap out at about 20 below.
That's the other problem. The other problem I got is I know that these batteries don't work well up at -40 degrees. Now, that probably makes it 50% efficient, maybe, I don't know. Now, the battery I've got...
They'll stop working below about -20 on the LiPos.
Really? Okay, the one I've got here, the specs on it say -40. Now, that's Chinese, and I don't believe that at all. I don't believe it. So, but it's still something to play with, and we're going to try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try maybe 2 balloons down, maybe in the next couple months, is to have a battery on there that'll recharge, where we can get, position reports during the dark hours.
I've tried it. I've got a version of my tracker that has a 4 gram, 220 milliamp hour LiPo battery. It weighs about 4 grams.
Uh-huh. And what do you get?
But the danger is when you get up, it's okay when you're flying below 30,000 feet on the one of the single party balloon boats. When you go up higher, around 40,000 feet, it gets colder, and that battery could freeze out. And I'm not sure whether it would be a dead short or it may stop working altogether.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about too. That's what I'm worried about. Does it go dead short? And if it does, then we got a problem. So. Yeah, and but I want to charge it correctly because I don't want the thing spewing out sparks and hot metal under a hydrogen-filled balloon, I'm trying to, keep things, right here.
You could cause a UFO report.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure this is going to time out here in a minute on us.
In about 4 minutes and 20 seconds is what it says.
Does it say that somewhere?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does. It does.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I read somewhere. I read somewhere.
The upgrade to a subscription. There.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. But I read somewhere if I get out and come back in.
Well, if you get out, we all lose the meeting.
Well, I don't know. No, I think.
Yeah.
We're
Since
learning.
you hosted it, if you drop, we all drop.
I'll have to figure that out. Well, we'll probably subscribe to it, and
I
that
don't think
way
it's very expensive. Actually, it's a monthly fee.
it's about $15 a month.
Yeah. I think they have a yearly rate too.
Yeah, it's not bad, not bad. Remember the Hindenburg is saying, yep, remember that. But remember the Hindenburg though, it's hydrogen, it didn't explode. Most people think the Hindenburg would explode with it just burned. Hydrogen just burns. It doesn't necessarily.
By the way, it wouldn't explode.
People on board, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the coating they had on the Hindenburg that was basically nitrocellulose that caught on fire. Hey, I just wanted to mention, I mentioned that the museum in Hutchinson, Kansas, the Space Museum, was called the Cosmodrome. It's actually called the Cosmosphere. The Cosmodrome is the Russian Space Center where they launch our astronauts to the space station.
Okay.
Let me tell you a little story about my first experience with balloons. This was
let me guess. I bet it was at your first birthday party.
No. I was probably about 13, 14 years old. And I had an honest to God 1960s, 70s chemistry set.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things to do was to take aluminum foil and hydrochloric acid and make my own hydrogen.
Oh, wow.
And I built one of these hot air balloons, the old tissue paper and balsa wood balloons.
Yeah.
And, had it all set up for hot air and didn't really think about it. But I had my own Hindenburg moment when I tried to light the burners to light the hot air.
Oh, boy. Hey, by the way, we've got a minute and 45 seconds left here, guys.
That's when I discovered
if we lose you guys, I will.
Really
I'm going to reconnect if we lose you, and then while we're reconnecting, I've got a short thing here I need to run, but we'll be back on. Well, Dave,
I'm going to drop.
Are you going to drop?
Nice to see you guys. 73.
See you, Dave.
All right, thanks, Dave. We'll see you later. All right, so. Yeah, there's some people on the Pika or on the balloon forum talking about trying to make your own hydrogen. Some of them are doing it, actually. All right, let's see how many seconds we got here. We got about 60 seconds left.
You have to also use like a calcium chloride scrubber to scrub out the moisture when you do.
Yeah.
The Army used to have a little kit that they used for weather surveillance balloons, probably from the Vietnam War, that they were selling the Army surplus.
Well, Bill, I got some surplus stuff one time. It was a Gibson Girl transmitter, and it came with 2 hydrogen containers, and you screw this pipe on it, and you put the balloon on the top, and you stick it down in the ocean water.
And we did this for the W8LT.
Yeah.
160 meter contest for Ohio State Radio Club, and we did a balloon vertical on 160 meters, and we were over the radio telescope ground plane in Ohio State, and we won the contest hands down.
Yeah. Hey, I launched it. We launched that balloon. I think I was in 11th or 12th grade, and well, let's see, time to upgrade. So yeah, let me just click off on that. I'll click join the meeting. Let's see if anybody comes back. We'll see how it goes here. Roundtable, join the meeting. Okay. Hey guys, we'll be right back. Interesting talk here. Get out and be active with ICOM's new IC705 and its optional multifunction backpack. The IC705 is your perfect QRP companion that has base station features and functionality at the tip of your fingers. It's a portable package covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. This compact rig weighs in at just over 2 pounds. It has RF direct sampling for most of the HF band and IF sampling for frequencies above 25 megahertz. It also has a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen with a live band scope and waterfall. Other features include 5 watts with the BP272, 10 watts with 13.8 volts DC. It also has sideband CW AM FM as well as full D-Star functionality. It has a micro USB connector and Bluetooth capability, integrated GPS with antenna and a GPS logger. It has a micro SD card slot. The speaker microphone comes standard, and it supports QRP operations. The perfect accessory for the IC705 is the optional backpack, the LC192, with a special compartment for your IC705, and it has room for accessories for soda, activations, or just a day in the park. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. From QRP to QRO, fixed stations, portable and remote, an LDG tuner will match your radio to your antenna using our lightning-fast, proprietary tuning algorithms. LDG is a family-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing innovative, quality products to the amateur market. All LDG products carry a full 2-year warranty that is fully transferable. Support is only a phone call or email away. We're always here to help you. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
All right, we're back. We're back, and we got Glen back on there. He dialed back in, and also Bill did. And hey, don't forget, guys, check out your nuts and bolts this month, man. Great articles. Check us out. We got an advertisement in there. All right, hey, back to you. Look at there. Hey, wait, Glenn, hold that up again. Oh, wait a minute. You're frozen. I've got to hit the right button here. Hang on. There we go. Hang on. There we go. Look at here. Glenn has his nuts and bolts.
Yeah, and if you notice, I have a lot of pages marked.
Yeah, which one is that? I don't have the latest one in my hands
here. This was
here.
a 2019 issue.
Any good articles in there?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Man, there's a lot.
This was part 2 of the Nextion touchscreen display that the MicroBitX version 6 is migrating to.
Yeah.
And a really nice tutorial on that. But, there's 5, 6, 7 articles in each one of them that I find something that I like.
Yeah, and they show you all the plans, and they show you, circuit board layouts so you can make your own circuit boards and
build a radio cat tracker.
Yeah, man, all the different schematics and stuff. It's pretty cool there.
Yeah, so there's always something in it that's really cool.
All right, well, so Bill, I'm going to have a tracker that transmits all night. You think it's doable? You don't think so?
Big enough battery?
Big enough battery. Well, it's got to be light enough. It got to be light enough to fly. And I tell you, it's got to be light enough to fly on a Chinese balloon too, because I'm not going to put it on a big balloon.
Oh well, it worked better. It'll work better around 30,000 feet or below.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm wondering,
I've done that for several days on mine, but your payload weight will be 4 grams heavier.
yeah.
So now you can get your data all night, but that's going to put you at the height where the storms will take you out.
Well, what we need to do is in the firmware. Hey, first of all, there's all kinds of sensor chips or sensors that you can add to this board. I think we need to add a little radar sensor on it.
Now I was just going to suggest that put a little
Glen,
radar
Glen, maybe you can help with that. So
turn
when it
on
detects
the hot air burners to increase the lift on the helium.
When it detects a storm straight ahead on a heading, you put that into the firmware there, and Bill, you got to help us figure out how to steer it.
I'm going to have to figure out anti-gravity when you put all that kind of weight on it.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, though, how can you control going up at that altitude, with a fixed amount of hydrogen? Yes, you can have it release and go low, but that's not going to help you.
Well, you throw some weight overboard.
You have to throw ballast over.
Yeah, you throw a ballast over.
Ballast.
Yeah.
So now we're going to be dropping what? 30 gram bags of sand over China.
Hey, what's this new Google?
What they're doing now is they're pumping air inside the balloon, but there's a cost involved.
Yeah.
The weight of the air pump.
Hey, what's the new Google balloon? It's flying at 120,000 feet, and they're kind of keeping it in the same place up there. It's Goonie or something. What's it called?
Loon.
Loon?
And they fly at the minimum wind field around 65,000 feet. That's where the minimum winds usually are.
Okay.
And they can steer up or down during the summer. The lower winds are usually out of the west, like they also are during the winter. Only they aren't the jet stream's not quite as strong, of course, during the summer. And but the stratospheric winds, anything above 60,000 feet, during the winter they're generally out of the west. But during the summer, they're out of the east. So you can actually have it go east, and then when it gets above 60,000 feet, it'll come right back to you. I've actually had them land almost back to where we launched them, and traveling clear over to Georgia and back, and come back and land within a mile or two of us during the summer. And so you can float in the stratosphere during the summer and actually launch it from Alabama and send it to California.
Yeah, for some reason I don't mind going that way.
Retrograde, we call it.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I saw the Starlink satellites the other night.
I saw your note about that. I didn't look.
I've counted 33 of them, but some of them were so tight together that there were multiple satellites that you couldn't make out and separate them. It was about 20 minutes after sunset, so the sky wasn't super dark, but they were still visible on a clear sky, and they went almost overhead. And you can just imagine just one after another whipping by for about 5 minutes straight, and there were 40 satellites in the clump, and they were strung from one end of the sky to the other in a big line. Just like a train. It was just pretty awesome to watch.
Wow.
And if you want to watch, predict that, heavens-above.com, I'll put it in the chat room. Heavens and the -above.com, and they have a link there that'll show you when to look for the next pass of those satellites. And they're going to be launching a series of these over the next year or so. And it's supposed to provide high-speed internet with low latency times because it's in low Earth orbit. Whereas the other companies like Usenet, they have a geostationary satellite that offer high-speed internet, but their latency times are pretty large.
Well, it's It's a quarter second up and a quarter second back, just about, isn't it?
It's measured ping times as high as a half a second to a second.
Yeah, I think it's 250 milliseconds up and 250 down.
Yeah, so it's
there.
like some websites time out before you can get them opened. So
yeah,
but that's what they're trying to do is get the low latency by doing this. But it was a pretty awesome site. I'm probably going to be a little bad or a lot bad for astronomy when you have all these 1,000 satellites flashing up there in the sky.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing though is they try to put those around the equator, so you've got, a lot of room at the other latitudes to do stargazing and stuff.
The geostationaries, but these are going to be high latitude satellites for the Starlinks.
Oh, okay.
So that's not going to be an issue. But we can put all our observatories on the far side of the moon. But then we got that pesky Tesla Roadster out there near Mars.
Well, somebody just needs to go up and get that and start driving it.
Need to go talk to Elon about this.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like finders keepers. If I go up and get it, it's mine.
Yeah, I can tell you where to go get it.
Yeah.
It's actually on that website. If you go to Heavens Dash Above, it'll show you where the Tesla Roadster is right now too.
You just got to give him credit for doing that, though. I thought that was just cool.
Well, I saw a picture of the Roadster with the astronaut driver and the Earth in the background, and somebody had photoshopped in a state trooper writing a ticket to him. It says, "Sir, the speed limit here is 17,000 miles per hour."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just really cool to do.
All right. Well, guys, the show started off kind of rough tonight, but I figured out how to get the video working right, so that shouldn't be a problem next time.
Well, other than timing out, I think
Yeah.
Zoom is working pretty
Yeah,
good.
we'll have to get that. I'll get that fixed.
It's certainly a lot easier to log in than when I've tried Skype, because usually when I try and log in with Skype, it asks me to upgrade, and it takes about 20 minutes to get running again.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is Zoom is probably not going to upgrade and blow stuff up and do the old Microsoft, let's rearrange the menus and hide stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Zoom will end up being a little more stable in that regard.
So we'll
once we get
probably
used to it.
just go ahead before next week. We'll do a subscription to Zoom, and that way we'll have uninterrupted access to our remote people. Guys, it's getting late. I think we'll go ahead and close the show. It's 9:40. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight and watching. And I don't think we're going to be launching tomorrow, the balloon tomorrow. Just an update. I need to find out why this tracker is not working in here. Maybe all the satellites turned off, and if it's not getting a satellite signal, it's not going to work. But
that's one of two things there. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
one, does the solar cell actually work indoors?
No.
Oh, he has a
I clip a power supply across it,
Okay.
and it's been running, man. And I've been picking up 12 satellites inside the shack here.
Okay, because I was going to say some of those GPSs are kind of fussy about working inside.
This thing is so sensitive. It picks it up great inside the house. I've had some other trackers before. I had to put it outside the window for it to pick up, a signal. But this one seems to pick it up. All right. So tomorrow, I think we're canceling tomorrow.
Your best weather opportunities are Thursday and Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, okay. We'll think about Saturday, probably.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That'll give me a little extra time there.
All
right, guys, everybody out there on the show watching, 73, enjoyed seeing you tonight. Come back next week. Join our 40-meter net. It's on 7180 on Tuesdays at 5:30. We'll see you next week. 73 to everybody out there. And You guys remember what Glen looks like? Glen Popiel. Let me get that right. Glen Popiel. You know what he looks like. Here's a video with Glen in it. I want you to watch.
God.
I want you to watch the video with Glen in it, and he's got his cats with him.
I'm going to do that with one of my cats.
He's got his
once.
cats with him. Here we go.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any questions?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
All right. Now, don't you guys think that looks like Glen? I mean, it looks just like Glen.
I'd need a blood transfusion if I tried that with one of my cats.
Yeah. All right. Well, good.